in me. Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold. Everybody knows I got the magic in me.
Welcome back to the geometry unit. Today we're going to be talking about finding the measure of an angle using our favorite thing, equations. Let's go ahead and take a look at example A. Here we are at example A, and example A says we're going to be talking about complementary angles. Remember, complementary angles have a sum of 90 degrees. So we can use this information to write an equation. So we see there that we have x plus 10 for angle A, 2x plus 20 for angle B. Since we know that this equation has to equal 90, since we know they're going to be complementary angles, we're going to set our equation by saying it's equal to 90. Now, on one angle, we have x plus 10, so that's what we're going to put in one of our angles, x plus 10 for angle A, plus 2x plus 20 for angle B is going to equal 90 degrees. Now that we have both angles included in our equation, we're going to combine our like terms, so x plus 2x is 3x, 10 plus 20 is going to be 30. Now we're going to solve our equation by subtracting 30 on both sides, removing that constant. We've done that, it leaves us with 3x equals 60. Then we're going to divide both sides by 3 to get rid of our coefficient. 60 divided by 3 is 20, and x equals 20. But that's not the end of this problem, because the problem is asking us to find the measures for angle A and the measures for angle B, which we did not do. We just got x equals 20. If we write x equals 20, that answer will be wrong. So we need to substitute 20 in for x. So if I plug 20 in for x for 20 plus 10 equals 30, plug it in on the other side for 2 times 20 plus 20 is going to give me 60. So angle A is going to be 30 degrees, and angle B is going to be 60 degrees. So the key is that you're going to set your two angles equal to 90 degrees and solve. Now let's take a look at example B. Here we are at example B, and it's talking about supplementary angles. Remember, supplementary angles have a sum of 180 degrees. We can use this information to write our equation. So just like last time where we took our two angles and then we knew they were going to equal 90, so we set up our equation. This time we know they're going to equal 180, so we're going to have our equation equal 180. One of our angles, angle A, is 7x, and the other angle that we have is 3x plus 10 for angle B. Again, we're going to combine our like terms. 7x plus 3x is going to give me 10x plus 10, because there's nothing to combine with that 10, equals 180. Then we're going to solve our equation just like we know what to do. We're going to subtract 10 from both sides. That's going to leave us with 10x equals 170. Divide both sides by 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1, or 1x. 170 divided by 10 is 17, and x equals 17. But again, that doesn't solve our problem. It just tells us what x is. We still have to substitute x in to figure out what our angles are. So 17 times 7 is 119 degrees for angle A. And for angle B, 3 times 17 plus 10 is equal to 61, so angle B is 61 degrees. And that makes sense. You see that angle B is smaller than 90 degrees. Angle A is larger than 90 degrees, so 119 degrees is a good answer there. 61, a good answer there. Now let's take a look at example C. Here we are at example C, and example C is talking about vertical angles. Remember, vertical angles are equivalent. So we can use this information to write an equation where the two angles are equal to each other. So our angles here are angle B and angle A. Angle A is 6x plus 17, angle B 4x plus 35. We're going to set those equal to each other. So on one side of our equation, we're going to have 6x plus 17. On the other side of our equation, we're going to have 4x plus 35. Now we can't combine like terms because the x's are on opposite sides of the equation, so we're going to have to move one of those x's to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. You could move the 6x. It doesn't matter. Both could be right. When I do that, I'm going to be left with 2x plus 17 on one side and then equals 35 on the other. Now I need to get rid of the 17 constant, so I'm going to subtract 17 from both sides. When I do that, 17 minus 17 is going to cancel out. 35 minus 17 is going to give me 18, so I'll be left with 2x equals 18. Now I need to get rid of my coefficient by dividing by 2 on both sides. So divide 2x by 2, 18 by 2. When I do that, 2 divided by 2 is 1, or 1x. 18 divided by 2 is going to be 9, so x equals 9. But again, that doesn't bring me to the end of my equation, or the end of my problem, brings me to the end of my equation. I need to plug it back in, or substitute it back into my equations that I have there in order to figure it out. So I'm going to substitute in 9, so I get 6 plug in 6 times 9 plus 17 equals 71. I do the same thing for angle B. 4 times 9 plus 35 equals 71. Since both answers are 71, I know I did it right because they're vertical angles. They're equal to each other, so they should have the same amount. So angle A is 71 degrees, angle B is 71 degrees. Now let's take a look at the last example. Here we are at example D, the last example. We're talking about word problems. It says angle C and angle D are complementary. The measure of angle C is 12 degrees less than the measure of angle D. That's important information, so we're going to highlight it that it's 12 degrees less than and the measure of angle D. What is the measure of each angle? And then it gives us the option to draw a picture. So we're going to go ahead and do that first. Since we know we have complementary angles here, we know that they're going to be equaling 90 degrees. So we're going to use that information in our picture to draw a right angle. Again, math class, not art class, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But we know we're going to have two angles that are going to add together to give us 90. One of our angles we don't know, so that's going to be labeled as x. And the other one we know is 12 degrees less than, so it's going to be x minus 12, because we know less than is subtraction. So now that we have that information, we can make our equation. We know that our equation is going to be equal to 90, so we're going to take our x plus minus 12, and that's going to equal 90 degrees. Then we're going to combine like terms. So x and x are going to give me 2x. The negative 12 has nothing to combine with, so it's just going to stay minus 12. Then we're going to get rid of our constant by adding 12 to both sides by using the inverse operation. The inverse of negative is addition. So we're going to end up getting 2x plus 102. Then we're going to get rid of our coefficient by dividing both sides by 2. And when we do that, 102 divided by 2 is x equals 51. So we've got x equals 51, which we can then substitute back into our picture and give us x is equal to 51. So we know that one of our angles is going to be 51. That's going to be angle D, since it's the one that is x. And then we need to figure out angle C, so we're going to be substituting back in our 51. So for angle C, we're going to substitute in 51 minus 12, and that's going to give us 39 degrees. So angle C is 39 degrees. That brings us to the end of this problem. It brings us to the end of this video. If you like this video, go ahead and throw us a thumbs up. If you love this video, go ahead and throw us a sub, and we will catch you in the next one.
When I hit the floor, the girls come snap.